evening, everyone. My name is Jovial Sebastian Paranga, and this evening I will be presenting my essay as my final exam assignment for Introduction to English Poetry. So, we will be discussing two poems by Naomi Shibab. They are Making a Fist and Two Countries. We will analyze based on some questions. So, for the first one, who is the speaker of the two poems and what happened to the speaker? So, in the Making a Fist, the speaker is someone who reminisces about her childhood when she was on a long journey with her mother. And what happened to the speaker? So, the speaker experiences deep pain and discomfort during the journey, accompanied by a fear of death. And in Two Countries, the speaker is a voice that appears to be contemplating personal experiences regarding solitude, relationship, and spiritual journeys. Although the identity of the speaker is not specifically revealed, the use of the word skin in the poem can be interpreted as a clue that the speaker may be the poet himself. So, what happened to the speaker? So, the speaker is reflecting on an emotional journey that depicts transition from loneliness to deeper understanding and love. Next, we will discuss the tone in these two poems. For Making a Fist, the initial tone is dark and fearful, represents physical pain and the fear of death. However, during the middle and end of the poem, the tone turns reflective and grateful because the tone shift as the mother's comfort leads to a reflection on the past with gratitude. And for the two countries, the initial tone is melancholy and lonely. It expressed feelings of isolation and separation. It seems like the first poem it's also changed in during the middle and the end of poem. It's changing. It turns to reflective and hopeful because the tone evolves from loneliness to hope as the speaker reflects on love and spiritual growth. Now we move to figure of speech. So, what kind of figure of speech does the poet use in this poems? So, for the making a face, there are three figures of speech: metaphor, personification, and metonymy. For the metaphor, you can see in the phrase of the poems, like when you can no longer make a fist. It symbolizes the loss of will to survive and endure. For the personification, I felt the life sliding out of me. So it's like life is portrayed as something that can physically leave the body. And clinking and opening one small hand. A simple action symbolizes struggle and resilience. And for two countries, same, they have three figures of speech. For metaphor, love means you breathe in two countries. So it illustrates the idea of existing between two emotional or cultural space. For symbolism, feather lost from the tail of a bird. So it represents loss, vulnerability, and emotional emptiness. And for personification, skin had hope. That's what skin does. So skin is personified as a having the ability to hope and heal. Now we move to imagery. So there is a three imagery each poems. For the making a face, they are visual, tactile, and auditory. For the visual, there is a phrase watching palm tree, swirls sickening patterns past the glass. So it's the depicts its stability and disorientation. For tackle, the phrase my stomach was a melon split wide inside my skin. It conveys intense physical pain. And for the auditory, a drum in the desert, harder and harder to hear. So it suggests the gradual loss of consciousness of life. And for the two countries, same, there's a visual, tactile, and auditory. For the visual, a gray tunnel of singleness depicts emotional isolation and fragility. Tactile, skin remembers how long the year grow, reflects the weight of time and personal experience. for the last, auditory, swept away by someone who never saw it was a feather. So it evokes a sense of being overlooked and abandoned. Now we move to the theme or main idea. So what is the theme or main idea from each poems? As you can see in the uh, my background. So for the making a feast, the theme is perceptions of life, depth, and inner strength. So the poem explores how physical and emotional experiences teach us about resilience and personal strength in the face of fear and suffering. And for the two countries, the theme is emotional connection and transformation through loneliness and love. So the poem delves into how love has the power to bridge cultural and emotional divides and transforming loneliness into spiritual growth and connection. Now we move to correlation or differentiation. Are these two poems have correlations and differences? So let's find out. So these two poems have correlations in emotional journey and metaphor. Both poems explore personal journeys from uncertainty to understanding the growth. They both use a metaphor like clinking a fist in a making a fist for resilience and breathing in two countries for emotional connection. And for the differences, they only have one, the main themes. Uh, Making a fist focuses on personal endurance, while two countries explore love and cultural connections. Now we're moving to the last part of our presentations. It's about ideology of the Pope. So Naomi Shihab Nai poetry often explores theme of love, resilience, and human connection. In Making a Fist, Nai expresses beliefs in inner strength and perseverance in the face of challenges. The, the act of clenching a fist symbolizes the will to endure and grow through hardship. And for the two countries, Nai shows belief in love's power to bridge emotional and cultural divides. The poems reflects on how love transforms loneliness into spiritual and emotional connection. So that is the ideology of the poem. That's all of for our discussion today, analyzing two poems by Naomi Shihab Nai. I apologize if my presentation was far from perfect, and thank you for your attention. Good evening, and see you later.